Nice song. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Just Pure Talk. We're here live. Yes, I am here last week. I was not able. So, always happy to say thank you, Akai, for covering. Well, anyways, you're always there too. So, I mean, just covering. So,
Yeah.
tonight, couple of topics, but we're going to kick off like we always usually do. We always say hi and talk about what happened on our end. So, yeah, Akai, what happened on your end? This
Oh,
week?
I've been busy working up in the mountains, digging foundation for my cabin. So
Okay.
I have just been I am a whooped puppy right now.
Ooh, whoop puppy. Yeah, I could understand. Whoop puppy. With the sun. Is it hot around your place?
It is. It was about 80 degrees up there today, and
Ooh.
which is pretty hot for what at my because I'm at 10,600 feet, so I'm way up there.
Okay.
And then you add the elevation and working out there, and you just trying to drink enough water but
Get enough air in your lungs.
it's absolutely beautiful. And I delivered another load of lumber up there, and a buddy drove his truck up there, and we delivered another load of lumber, and we're going to take another load of lumber up on Saturday, so that way we
It's a
could
lot of
try to have
lumber.
it. Well, we're trying to have everything on site.
Okay.
That way we could just, because you never know how far you're going to get. Some things are easier and some things are harder.
Yeah.
If you get everything on site, then you can just do it all at once. And if you have to stop, you still have everything there.
Yeah, I want to try to get it dried in before the snow comes in, and then
Yeah, I mean,
October or September.
It'll be November-ish.
Okay. So you get snow later than I do.
Yes, but it won't melt. I won't be able. Once it snows, I will not be able to go there unless I use snowshoes or a snowmobile, and I won't be able to get in until after April, almost the end of April.
I guess I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Snowmobile? That'd be awesome.
Or snowshoes.
Snowmobile.
I'm going for the snowmobile. I'm fat.
I'll be honest. Out here, you could probably get them a dime a dozen because that's all they do out there.
That's crazy.
Snowmobile.
Snowmobiles and boats are so cheap in Minnesota. It's ridiculous.
I could probably load them up on the trailer and haul them out there. And
yeah. But you ever notice that when you're in like different states, like certain things are just outrageously priced. You're like, who would pay that? I mean, I can get that for X, and then you go back home,
like gas prices.
Yeah, I had to go to 2 gas stations to find diesel today. It was.
Oh yeah, why?
I'm making my own wood stain, and I make it out of used motor oil and diesel fuel.
Oh, okay.
Well, I pay $3 a gallon for diesel fuel, right? And I pay nothing for used motor oil. And I think the paint can cost more than both of it combined. It was like $10 for the paint can. And a metal number 10 style paint can. And I just mix it 50-50 and brush it onto the wood. In a couple days, it's dry and it doesn't stink. So that's what the old timers used to do. And those wood buildings lasted forever.
But does the wood smell oil?
Nope.
It just brings out the color and protects the wood.
Looks absolutely gorgeous. I wish I could upload this picture, but I can't. So let me see if I can. You do a camera picture.
While you're looking at the picture, I'm going to ask. There we go. Whoop, man. Oh yeah, okay. Oh wow. Oh okay, yeah. So what about you? How are you going, Mr. Doc Palooja?
I'm doing all right. I work from home 2 or 3 days a week right now. The other 2 days, my mom's been gracious enough to drive me to work.
You're still having a little bit of health issues, eh?
I just can't legally drive for 90 days.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. How you doing, Doc?
Otherwise, I think I'm doing well. I had an interesting. I went and did some paid volunteer work today.
Okay.
I had to participate in something for something upcoming here, but I I can say that there's a lawsuit going on, and that's about all I can discuss.
I
And
see.
I have to say that when I was listening to arguments, um, that it was a reflection of me. I seen a lot of me and what they were saying, so very good because now I can go back and look at. Oh, I kind of do that too. I need to quit that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna quit that now.
It is crazy. Yeah, and for me, well, last week one of the reasons why I wasn't there is because we had like y'all know, it's my rodeo season. So
Yes.
technically, I'm DJing and emceeing in different parts of the rodeo. I mean, Jim Can, I should say. So I had to load up and help my wife on Wednesday. I mean, to get ready for Thursday. So yeah, so once in a while, I gotta help my wife.
when do we
Yeah.
get to see you ride the bull?
I don't ride bulls.
Oh, come on, we want to see it.
You should go. Well, both of you don't got TikTok.
No, I don't.
And we stream
I have
27 hours.
X.
Yeah, 27 hours of TikTok.
I have X. Do not have TikTok.
I got rid of TikTok for the wife. A lot of girls from overseas would always be reaching out to me for nefarious reasons, and I got tired of blocking them. So I just
They reach out to you all over now, even Facebook.
just get easier to get rid of the app.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, if I'm going to get inundated with indecent proposals, let's say,
Yeah, it's
I think
like
I'm just gonna remove myself from the situation.
yeah,
well,
it's just
yeah,
easier that way.
I understand. Yeah, but I mean,
And then I would set up a pseudo account that's just business related or radio related. But
because the problem I could use Restream because I do got it on my phone, but since we play music, we're gonna get copyrighted by
yep,
YouTube, and TikTok doesn't copyright because
well, it's
you're
because they're
streaming
Chinese.
live. No, but you're streaming live. No. The reason is you're streaming live and there's no video. YouTube, you stream, but it stays
Speaking
in.
of that, old Truck
Stays
Sam
in.
said something the other day. My mother-in-law tried to tell me she was at the ATM because I was giving her money.
Why is he
I
not
want to.
texting?
He's texting
He
over on
said it
the.
over on the chat. He
Yeah,
says
sorry, I just
TikTok,
forgot.
TikTok,
Okay,
takes
so
your information and sends it to China.
okay, can you see what that says right there? I know it's backwards.
It's in Chinese, but I don't know what it means.
TikTok
Well,
will take your information and send it to China.
No,
yeah,
what
but
Doc has got on screen. He's got
what I
some
have on
text from
screen.
somebody in
So
China.
my mother-in-law is trying to tell me that she's at the ATM,
Yeah.
but after that it turns into Chinese. So I decided to go and translate what it said, and it says the most important thing about the product is the product itself. And
Okay.
the United States kind of likes to blackball Jamaica as a traveling country because they have a lot of Chinese influence. And this tells me that because why would my mother, who doesn't speak a lick of Chinese, all of a sudden start texting in Chinese unless the communications are already being taken?
Well, there's a lot of hacks. I get some Chinese stuff. I even get Mexican.
No, my mother-in-law sent me a message and it went, "Hey, I am at the," and she's trying to say ATM, and then all of a sudden it's all Chinese. It wasn't her sending me Chinese. It was she was trying to say ATM, and then all of a sudden it unlocked a code somewhere.
I saw on YouTube. There was a documentary about TikTok and French investigators, well, hackers, went into the system to go see if it does do what you're saying, and it does. It gives them a lot of information. It does. You can see it. The guy comes out, all the numbers. And then you see, oh, okay, he lives there. Then somewhere else, it's there. It's like cryptid.
Well, what I would say is there's another YouTuber out there, and he has a sponsorship that I'm not going to mention, but his line is, if something is free, that means you are the product.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's for everything. Eh? That is for everything. Whatever, from Facebook to YouTube to
That'd be a guy I'd like to get on here, Sam. I wonder how I get a hold of him.
What?
Would you want FE on here? You know who I'm talking about? That guy from Iowa who
I
does
have
all
no
those
idea.
the fat electrician.
Oh, fat electrician. Yeah, we would probably need some more numbers to get him on here.
Okay. You got two. You got two vets. I mean, is that enough numbers?
Probably not, because he's hooked in with that Bronco branding and branding Herrera, and yeah. Here's the one. Truck Sam saying something about getting text message about overdoing Virginia toll roads. I keep getting them for Colorado from a foreign number saying that I owe tolls or I have a traffic violation, and the scamming is getting out of control.
No, it is. It's getting
I'm a bad person. I build little Python programs to continuously call them on a computer that sits in my room. See, I'm trying to just block out their call line so they can't text anybody.
A lot of the Bangladesh people are logging into Vermland Radio's website, and they're signing up. And for some reason, I'm starting to get some emails and starting to get some messages on your Vermland Radio account is due.
Yes.
And then I start
trying to tell me that I owe money for something that I've never used.
Yeah. And there's another thing that they were doing. It was like, and every time it gets me, they know that I have a Disney Plus. Your Disney Plus account is used, and they write really down everything that they know about. It's almost like if it's really the account.
No, and it's not. Well, I agree with you, Verm. What it is there's a lot of data leaks. Like I think USA had one like 2 years ago. And I'll give you an example. The other day I was on the phone with USA, and all I was trying to do was take money out of my account. So, because I had gotten a windfall and taken care of some stuff, and I was just trying to pay some debts off, and they can't. Oh, the card is good. I go to the ATM, it gets blocked. Okay. I go to the ATM. Oh no, it's unblocked, blocked. And I'm just like, are you kidding? Well, it's been like that since they lost all their data like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So instead of them having zero fraud liability, they just try to stop all fraud they can so they don't have to have any liability for fraud. Okay. So I couldn't even get my own money.
I sent and you may not have to deal with it. I think Verm's dealt with it, where you get an invoice from somebody and you have to pay it. And it comes out of like your checking or something like that. And you just put in your routing number and all that. It took like 5 days for the first time I did it was for like $2,000. It went through immediately.
Okay.
The second one I did was like 12,000.
I think I remember you talking to me on the phone about that.
Dude, it just would not go. It wasn't registering in the system. I'm like, and then when I finally decide to call the bank, bam, it goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they want to cover the fraud liability because fraud is so
understand the fraud liability, but I've already got a payment going out to this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's expecting to get it paid after the job. You know,
okay.
And when I pay
that must have been for your bulldozing or your route clearance.
My land clearing, yeah, I had a bunch of land clearing with excavators and everything like that. So, you know, and that was, it's not cheap, fellas. It's $2,300 a day to get that size of machine up into the mountains and have.
How many days was he out there?
6 days, 6 business days.
Dang.
And you get charged a day just for mobilization.
So for him to get out
the machine and deliver the machine and pick it back up.
The guy did a great job from what you showed.
Did an awesome job.
Like it looked like you had a mule path, and then all of a sudden it looked like they were building I-59 right through the middle of your state.
Yeah, the road that goes into my property is bigger than the road that goes through the entire thing to get to my property.
Okay.
It's a 2-lane. I mean, you could have people coming and going, no problem. And I'm like, that's way too wide, fellas. I just wanted a single track in, make a landing. But the landing's bigger than I expected, so now I'm looking at Quonset huts. I may put a Quonset hut up there to park my truck.
And it also gives you room to turn around too.
Yeah, I can turn around. I can even drive to the cabin site now, which is awesome, and turn around at the cabin site. So it's like a 50-point turn, but I can do it.
Oh, crazy, eh?
Yep.
So I just want to say hi to Stéphane Martin, who is listening to us.
Hi, Stefan.
He's a friend of mine, and every time we get together, he talks about our show. He really
That's
likes
awesome.
it.
How come he doesn't come on the show? He might only speak French, but I mean, come on.
Well, I did ask him, but he's not ready for the moment. So it's okay.
I have one gentleman I'm talking to that used to do some YouTube and stuff, and hopefully I can get him on. So we'll see.
Okay. A
And
good
do I know
idea.
that
I mean,
guy?
You
I
do?
know him? Is it Jeremy?
Yeah.
He would be funny. Just make sure he hasn't had a beer first.
Well, he's sober now, so
He is.
I'm proud of him. He's stopped drinking the alcohol. So now he's mad
that's a
at the
good
world.
thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. No
He's mad at the
alcohol.
world and everybody. So
I mean, but isn't he like he's down there in Texas just enjoying the hot heat?
yeah, it's more like he's locked inside in his air-conditioned house, and it's like a prison cell, and he doesn't want to leave. So
I told him to go to the bar, but don't drink anything. Just
Yeah,
go
you
there
can't.
for the ladies.
mm-mm.
It's a little bit hard.
I mean, he could call P Diddy. P Diddy might be able to hook him up
Yeah, let's talk about P. Diddy.
with his
Yeah.
2 counts.
Hey guys, going with PDD. I want to see what you guys are going to talk about. I mean, I know that he's convicted.
So what they said, he was convicted guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but he was acquitted of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Still facing up to 20 years in prison, since the maximum for each of the transportation counts is 10 years. There'll be a hearing next week, and he's staying in jail till the hearing.
And people are mad about that.
I think they're mad about that because
I think given the chance, he'll run.
Okay.
He's got enough money; he can jump on a private plane and be gone.
Okay.
And there's a lot of countries where you can just buy citizenship. For example, if you go to Brazil and you get a lady pregnant, they will not extradite you until that child is 18.
Okay.
Which is why after World War II, a lot of actually went to Brazil and had families because you couldn't extradite them. There's areas of Brazil that speak German. They don't speak Portuguese at all. To this day, they speak German. You walk in there and they sprechen Sie Deutsch, and you're like, what?
That's in Argentina, Brazil. There's one town down there that a lot of Confederate soldiers started after the Confederates lost the war, and they still speak English and have the stars and bars and get dressed up in Civil War uniforms and do the whole thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Because it's part of their heritage.
Brazil's the place to go if you want to get out of America.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Please.
Well, I'm definitely going to go to Jamaica.
Are you going to go to Jamaica?
My wife's Jamaican. If I were to go to retire anywhere, why would I not go back to her home country?
No, I know.
And with the amount of money that we make over here, after my house is paid off, I could live over there and live like a king.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's cheap living.
Is it cheap living? Is it as cheaper as the Philippines?
I wouldn't say that, but
it's probably a little more than the Philippines. But
I don't have to worry about ladyboys.
Thailand.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than.
Okay.
Well, Thailand's cheaper and safer than the Philippines.
Yeah. So
Philippines has a whole group of terrorists. They just had a movie on one of the I'm not going to bring up the streaming channel, but it was called The Plane, and it was kind of about that. And it's a very a true real. The movie itself was let's just say there's a lot to be desired if you've ever been in a plane or flown a plane. However,
Okay.
it's very realistic when it comes to the like that area of the Philippines. There's a whole terrorist group that runs.
There's some sketchy islands that the Philippines that's under Philippine control that the military doesn't go to.
Yeah, if they go to, they have to bring divisions, like
The who?
divisions. So, like
They have to bring
5,000 men before they go to that island. Like we're not messing around. Like they don't send the squad. They ain't
Okay.
sending their special forces. They're sending out a division to do stuff.
And why is that?
Because there's
because they're under terrorist control.
and if the
okay.
military comes in there in small groups, they'll just get killed.
Okay.
And
I
when
can
people
see
land there that don't belong there, they hold them hostage. They hold them for ransom. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
That's
why
crazy.
I mean, personally, I would go to Thailand, but I love.
I would
the
not go
Philippines,
to Singapore. I would never go to, but that's because Singapore has fines for everything, and I would end up getting fined. You can't have chewing gum. You can't smoke in public. I don't remember all the laws, but that's why they say Singapore is a fine city. But because you get fined for everything, it's just
But have
Thailand
you
is
ever
good.
seen pictures of Singapore?
It's
That place
beautiful.
is clean.
It's very clean. Maybe we need more of those laws here.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not
think
up for
about
that.
it.
The freedom side of me says no.
I mean, if you gave everyone a $5 fine every time they threw a cigarette butt on the ground, how long until they stop throwing cigarette butts?
Well, I got a question for you guys. Would you sell everything and move to a foreign country
Why do you have
like
to sell
that?
everything? If you own
Hey,
everything you have, you rent it, and then you have extra income.
But I understand what Verm's saying, and hypothetically, it would depend on the situation. Like,
If I was running from the government,
like if like my wife passed or something like that,
yeah,
there's really nothing, besides the kids to hold you down. So, but when they're old enough, they're going to be doing their own thing anyway. So, why not?
yeah. Because I know in the Philippines, I follow a lot of people on YouTube, and they're mainly all American. They're mainly all
Philippines
American.
is cheap.
It's because
Jamaica,
you can live in the Philippines like on less than $1,000 a month.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Less than and you live luxury.
Yeah.
well,
Less than
what I would say is in Jamaica, like my mother-in-law is renting for $235 American a month. Her power bill and her internet is less than like $100. So it's 335 plus whatever food she wants now. So let's just call it 350. You have 650, and America's right there. It's a plane ride away.
And a lot of people speak English.
Even if it's a different kind of English, yes, people speak English. And the other thing is like in Sam's situation, if you pass away, you're going to get about 1,000 women a day that want to hit you up just because of what you look like, and they think they can get back in the United States.
Yeah, but if I'm living over there, I'm not going back.
They don't know that.
I mean, if I have to sell everything, there's nothing to bring me back.
No,
I mean,
the only thing that you wouldn't like about Jamaica or probably Thailand or Philippines is getting a gun in Jamaica is near impossible.
Okay.
I don't think I would have to get a gun.
You wouldn't want to go out shooting, even just to go shooting. You
I
have
would
to go
love to
through
go
the
out shooting, but
local constable, and there's a whole like slew.
there's a whole string of stuff you got to go to do that. And if money was no object, there's a couple other countries I'd rather live in, but like Spain would be nice.
Yeah, Portugal seems to be cheap too, eh? Portugal
in the interior of Spain, like on an old farm.
Well, I'd like the interior of Germany, to be honest, or even in the interior of the United Kingdom.
But the one thing I heard about Spain, the population is starting to hate tourism. So
yeah, but I wouldn't be a tourist; I'd be a local. In a couple years, I'd be a local, because if you're living there and you're living off the economy, and you're going to the shops, and people are getting to know you, and you have people over for dinner, and or you grow too many tomatoes, or you got extra chicken eggs, and you walk to the neighbor's house and you give them some chicken eggs. I mean,
they can't hate
just
you.
Just be neighborly, and eventually they're gonna be like, okay, this guy's a good guy.
And you're good for making sausage, so they're happy.
I can make sausage,
and he can make. He can also make. I hear he makes a good apple pie.
I can make a good apple pie moonshine.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. I still can't wait to taste that.
The problem is you're going to taste it.
Bring it across the border.
No, that might be when I decide to go to Colorado.
Why even Colorado? You didn't have to get that far. We can meet in Detroit or down in New York City.
No, New York City would be fun. But did you see what happened in New York?
No.
In the primaries, that socialist guy won the primary on the Democratic ticket.
Which is crazy.
He's like, he says he's a socialist, but everything he's saying is like straight out of the Communist Manifesto playbook. I mean, he's like 100% communist. He wants to put up, he wants to put up city-owned grocery stores that charge just barely enough so they can pay the light bill, which is going to kill all the mom and pop shops. And then, I almost have pictures of like Soviet Russia, where you stand in the bread line with your ticket, hoping to get a loaf of bread,
So we got
he wants to charge, literally said that he wants to charge all the rich white people extra money because they make more money.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest though.
Not like he's gonna raise the price of property tax on a rich neighborhood. He specifically called out a color and a race.
We got to remember though, before I think FDR and maybe even during FDR's time, the tax rate for rich people was very, very, very high. It was like 90%.
It was ridiculous. 90 cents of every dollar.
By the way,
I don't think it was 90%. It was like 70 or something. But
I just want to take a minute just to say hi to Horizon Western. Horizon Western. These people are really a nice team. I've seen him at the rodeo at the Gymkhana. He's saying hi to everybody. So I just want to say hi to him because we had a good chat, and he's maybe wanting to join, being a sponsor and join us. So just want to, because I told him that I had an English and a French podcast. So and that the French podcast is Le Gymkhana Show. So yeah.
So what does Horizon Western do?
So Horizon Western is a other clothing company that they make t-shirts and caps and hoodies and really.
Do they give us free boots?
We are. No. I'm going to bring him. He's going to be coming to a podcast, the French podcast, to explain a little bit more. But him and his wife. I mean, he's made his logo that you could see it on his logo.
Looks nice.
And it's really beautiful. And so we had a good chat, and he's a great guy. So I can't wait. I can't wait to meet up. I know my son's talking to him also, so I can't wait to meet up. Hope that he jumps into the sponsorship for Verm's Productions and both Gymkhana and us. Yeah.
So I don't mean to derail the topic, but we got to talk about this Brian guy out of Idaho.
He's saying I'm ready.
He's saying
I'm ready.
And we got to talk about this Savannah Mall incident that just happened today.
So there was a mall shooting, from what I understand, in Georgia.
Yes, Savannah, Georgia, which, if I recall correctly, is close to Atlanta. At 5:25 local time Eastern. So, for me, that was about 4 hours ago. There was a shooting. 3 people were injured, including a minor. It took them till 7 p.m. So, 2.5 hours ago to evacuate the mall. But they say it's good now. Multiple. But there's non-life-threatening injuries, which is great. They were transported to local hospital. And the thing about it is it's like right before people are mentioning like fireworks and they thought fireworks were going off. It's just really unfortunate. We're coming up to our 249th anniversary this year. Next year is going to be a very big year. We got 250, and we still have, for whatever reason, people in our country deciding to shoot each other.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't understand what would be so bad in your life that you have to take out a firearm and just start shooting random people. And I don't think it's random people. I think this is a targeted attack,
or gang related, or
gang related, or something like that. Because the majority of and of course the anti-gun people are going to love this because it's a shooting in a mall, but
you can't. They're not supposed to have weapons in the mall. If everyone could carry in the mall, then you wouldn't have shootings in the mall, would you? In my opinion.
Well, we don't know.
Because you only have shootings in places where you can't have guns right now. Because we kind of touched on this before. There was a shooting at a Texas church a couple of years ago. One guy came in and I think shot and killed one person. Then two people from the church pulled and unloaded on this guy and killed him before he could kill any more people. But I think we need to go. Really, it's going to sound bad. The route of the Scandinavian area. You're required to go join the military. And I think then people would have more respect for the guns and more respect for the people. They would understand why
can
our
you
country
imagine trying to mandatorily, you have to serve X years of service and then have to be on the National Guard. I mean,
I think that it is a very touchy topic because people like their freedoms. However, once they got in and got out of the situation they were in and they were able to go and send money home to their families and help them, I think it'd be positive because some of those people would stay in the military and probably do very well. And then they would get out after 20 years or 30 years. They'd have retirement. They'd be set up at the VA and they'd never have to worry about anything. And they'd be like, I used to dig in the dumpsters to get food. Now I'm taken care of.
Yeah. So, hey, Samurai's asking, do they know why he did it anyways? I was going to ask you the question. I mean, why did he do it?
3 hours ago, there's actually been no police reports. The latest news article I could find was 55 minutes ago.
And they said avoid the area at all
costs. Early. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm assuming the people might have got away except for the victims. So someone probably ran their mouth and someone else pulled a gun. I mean, I don't mean to make people be a bad guy, but if you keep yourself out of bad situations, you generally stay out of bad situations. Akai had an incident 2 years ago where a guy was trying to be aggressive to him at a gas station. And Akai took care of it. And the guy shaped up real quickly. Now, Akai didn't hurt the guy or anything. He told me the story, but he didn't have any issues after that because he pretty much told the guy, listen, I mean business. If you want to go down this road, we can, but it's not going to end well for you. Similar to maybe what's the movie with Denzel Washington? That 3-part series. You know what?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What is the name of it?
He goes and he recovers stuff. He's an ex-CIA agent or something like that.
He plays as John McCall. Robert McCall.
Okay, this is all in French here, Verm.
That must be my son that is listening, and he wrote back to our future Horizon Western.
Equalizer. Equalizer is the show. And he comes in, and these people try to talk smack and whatever, and it's the same situation. He says, you know what? You got 9 seconds to change your answer. And if you don't make your answer change in 9 seconds, you have 9 seconds. And they don't believe him. And then 9 seconds later, they're regretting the decision that they made.
Okay.
In everything's down to the time. So I really think that I don't think a draft per se, but I think that the reason why people like Akai and myself and his brother Samson, I think the way we have a lot of respect for firearms and stuff is because we were taught how sacred they are in the military.
Okay.
It's a sacred thing for us. It's not like we want the right to bear arms because we've had it forever. We understand that it's actually just a tool. It's not a thing that's meant to harm people unless they're trying to harm you, and then we're using it as a last resort. We're trying to talk ourselves out of this situation. You know,
Yeah. So
Well, even
I'm
in
not going to
countries
mention.
where you can ban it all you want, you can restrict it. I mean, Canada just did another push here not too long ago where they banned another like 140 guns or 50 guns
yeah.
types,
Yeah.
and Canada has an incredibly low gun violence,
Yes.
and they're banning them because they think they're dangerous or they might be dangerous in the future, or you know. And I'm like, but I also think a lot of it goes back to parenting,
Well, for
or
sure. It's
lack
always been
thereof
that. Yeah.
of
It's
Well,
teaching.
parenting, because we teach our children to, you know, like they're self-entitled and all this stuff, and
well, let me ask you a
that's
question,
why they
Sam.
do this stuff.
Did you feel parented in basic?
Huh?
And
Did
when
I?
you were in basic, you felt parented, didn't you?
Oh no, basic was awesome. I got
Well,
I got I got to go to sleep early. I gotta, yeah.
well, not everyone. So, but you understand what I'm saying is like
They had
they're
hot
gonna.
water. They had hot water, buddy. I was happy. My
uh,
drill sergeant used to go, "That boy's shaving with cold water. That's a hard man right there."
It is
uh,
hard, eh?
it's like I think that if you do that for a few generations, what'll happen is um yes, there's a lot of kids that don't have parents in their life, and it would teach them kind of how to be parents so that if they did have children, they would try to be better than what they had.
But I
And the
don't think
problem
you
is,
could force everybody to join the military. I think the military is the wrong answer for a lot of these people. I think it would have to be some type of federal service. It'd
and
have to
I'd
be
be fine
federal
with that.
service for 2 years of
FBI,
something, picking up
CIA,
trash
NSA,
cans, whatever.
yeah, just something so they could get some structure and they could have a way out. Because I think a lot of these people get stuck in because there's no way out.
Well, I find that to be a poor excuse,
Oh, I don't disagree.
because
Well,
there's one
yeah.
man right now that I can think of, like right off the bat, where people are like, "Oh, you're disadvantaged. You didn't have X and you didn't have this," but he made it all the way to be a Supreme Court justice,
Okay.
and he came from nothing. His parents are dirt poor, like crop farmers, like sharecrop farmers, and he made it to be, a Supreme Court guy. I
Yeah.
mean, he pulled up his own bootstraps and he made it happen. And there's a lot of actors now that are coming out, saying that, black actors, like, look, I just went in and did the job and I did the best I could, and they kept hiring me. It wasn't about race, it wasn't about this. It was like, can he do the job? Can he sell the part? I don't, when people give me that, I'm, disenfranchised, or I don't have, the same blah blah blah. Well, do you need cable TV? Do you need that expensive car? Do you need all these items in your life? You could shrink down your bills and, grow up and maybe go to college or get some education or a trade or something.
Well, one thing that I done with my two boys, kept them busy. The thing is, mainly when you keep them busy and you work and you're in collaboration with them and you bring them to karate, you bring them to, they were doing special music, they were in karate, they were in soccer, and I kept them busy. So they don't got that time of thinking how a gun is made. How can I shoot multiple people? Because a lot of, if you look,
Well,
a lot of them have
Verm, the
problems.
difference is you were there as a
Well,
father,
and
and I
and,
think a
and I'm
lot of places we're having these issues. There is no
Yeah,
father figure.
no, but that's it.
prepared
That's what I
prepared
was
to get
saying.
this
Yeah.
video banned. Just saying.
What?
The reason why a lot of these shooters shoot people up is because if you start looking into their medical history, they have been on some type of SSRI.
Okay.
They have had ADD problems and been put on ADD drugs. They have, and so they got a rough life at home. They got, rough time in school. And it follows them through their whole life because they're on these drugs to try to calm them down or make them think straight. And it
Well, all
doesn't
they need
work.
is a little bit of exercise. Anytime my kid is not like listening in school, oh no, he has ADHD. We better put him on Ritalin or whatever the drug of the week is. And in reality, I could say looking at Sam that people probably would have said the same thing about him, but you know what his dad did? Kept him working.
Yeah, maybe
That's what
work
I'm
a lot.
saying.
I
Kept them
split a
busy.
lot.
Kept them
I
busy.
split a lot of wood.
Yeah, kept them busy. Yeah, exactly.
I split a lot of wood,
Yeah.
cleaned up a lot of apples, and I did a lot of gardening.
And what Sam says is true. Like I think the problem is we're kind of in a cycle and it's a spiraling cycle down.
Yeah.
If
But how
we
many
don't do
kids hate doing that
something,
stuff?
Yeah.
all of them.
I mean, I absolutely hated having to go cut firewood. I hated.
We hate it now though.
No, I love it. I love it. But I think it's because I get to decide when it happens, and I'm not getting told to do it like before I need to go do something. with some
Like Dark
friends or-
30.
Yeah.
Because
I got up at Dark 30 today to go to the mountains.
Verm, you know
No.
what Dark 30 is, right?
No.
So
Before the
Dark
sun's
30
up.
is it's any time before the sun's up. So it'll be 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, but we just call it Dark 30 because it's dark outside.
Oh, okay.
You might have heard it called. There's a movie I think called Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is. We call it Dark 30. We'll
Oh,
wake up
okay.
for a ruck march at 11:30 at night, and we have to march 15, 20, 30 miles, and we have to be there by 6 in the morning, and you're just, Dark 30, this is great. Remember the Crucible at Benning?
I don't know what the Crucible is.
That last ruck march you do when you come out of the field.
They call it the Crucible? Yeah. Yeah, that sucked.
March you like 24 miles
I wanna get
overnight.
back-
So, what?
Sorry. No. Continue because I want to get back on something before it disappears from the screen.
Okay, what are we getting back on? Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, we need to talk about Idaho or
Samurai writes, I think the females need to serve.
no. Let's not even bring that up because that's
No, we are because I don't understand why we're saying that.
I don't understand either.
Well, in the United States, when you turn 18 as a male, you have to go down to the post office and sign up for selective service.
Okay.
Or join the military.
Or join the military or whatever. But you have to sign up
So
for
it does
selective
exist in the
service.
States. It does exist in the States.
It's basically the draft.
Okay.
So if we go to a really, really big war,
I don't think women have to. Do women have to sign up for that now?
Not at all. They never have.
So maybe that's the reason why he's writing that.
Well, yeah, and
Okay.
that's.
I don't even go there. Now you pissed me off.
I don't understand.
Neither do I. I'm sorry, Cameron.
And we're not. I want you to know I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Truck Sam. What my thing is no, the women do not have to sign up for selective service. However, it was put in place after the draft in Vietnam because they could no longer have drafts. And if we go, if we go to war right now, and say we go to war with China, and they need to increase our military by 15 million people. Males, I think, between 18 and 25 are able to get drafted through the selective service. Now, the funny thing about it is that it doesn't make any sense to me. They make all of them sign up, but some of them don't even qualify in the first place. Like they have asthma or they have medical conditions that are pre-existing, and they don't check that out before they make them sign up for selective service. So, for example, if you went through and said,
They'll,
"Hey,
they'll get it in MEPS.
they'll get it at MEPS, but that wastes MEPS time."
Yeah.
If they pre-eliminate all that, everyone that goes to
Well,
MEPS,
they used to have that system back during NOM, where you got a grade, like you were, if you were, you had flat feet, they were like, no, you're an F. You can't join the military. Or
yeah, there was 4F unfit, and then during World War II they had the same thing. And people that were 4F unfit during World War II used to, many of them would kill themselves.
Okay.
Because they couldn't serve their country, and that's how important it was. And what it's come down to is we're in a country now where people no longer want to serve the country. We always want to blame one leader or another when it's in reality it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with all the people below them.
I think recruiting numbers are up now.
I think you're correct, but once again, it's about the people underneath the people that we always want to blame.
Okay.
I would always say no matter who's in that Oval Office, the only thing they do is veto. They make executive orders, and they sign laws that were passed by the House and the Senate. That is how our political system works. So if we're mad about stuff getting signed, 540 or 535 other people have already agreed to put that on that person's desk. So if we had more civil service time, as we talked earlier, people may have a greater appreciation. Like, for example, you could have them go once a week and go to the VA and walk around and help the veterans and listen to them and talk, even on a Saturday and Sunday. And the veterans would really love that. And they would understand. And we're losing so much perspective because what we have left now is a lot of the first Gulf War vets. There's not very many Vietnam vets left. Many of the people, like my grandma's age, my grandma's going to be
World War II vets are
few and far between.
And then
Korean War vets are in the same boat.
Vietnam vets, they're all in their 70s and 80s, I think.
Yeah, so my grandma was born in 35. She's going to be 90. So she wasn't old enough for World War II, obviously, because she wasn't old enough. But theoretically, she could have joined in the Korean War in 53. She'd have been 18. So and what happens now is we're more worried about as a country who's following us on TikTok, what people likes, instead of what we can do as a group to make each other better.
No, that you're totally right on that. I mean, I think it goes a little bit what Samurai has just written. Kids nowadays need more of a rod, and also
he said they need more discipline, and they need to be working earlier. Is what he's saying, and I don't disagree with them. I don't know if when I was a kid, I used to have to go pick switches, and if you picked one too thin and it broke, you had to go pick another one. And anything
but now that's child abuse.
Today that's what they're going to say.
They're going to say it's child abuse.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
If you make your kid work out in the garden or the field or whatever, and he doesn't like it, he just calls social services, and next thing you know, the parents are in trouble because he's been working out in the hot sun all day.
My mom,
when we grew up, if we had to go work out in the hot sun, my God, you just drank more water and kept working.
My mom told me of a time when I was really little. I was like 3 or 4, and I threatened to turn my mom into social services so I could go live somewhere else. And my mom said to me, she says, "Okay, you can go ahead and do that, but you're not going to have the quality of life you have now. They're going to adopt you, and you're going to get treated like crap." She was honest, and I never, ever, she said, brought it up again. And it was probably because I was mad because she disciplined me.
Okay.
And nowadays kids do it and they think they're going to have a better life. And in reality, it might be the case in some cases. But more often than not, you're not going to get a better life. Because we have our adoption program is in shambles in our country.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Idaho though.
Yeah, boy, there's one thing that I just seen again. So a samurai seems to want to start something here. Females want the same thing as males.
They have the same rights as males.
My opinion on that, as a Canadian, okay, because we always used to say U.S. and America and Canada, is I'm for that. I've always defended the rights of the women to work at the same job as you, but you have to take the tasks that go with it. So if you're a
Yes.
police officer, you can't do just desk work. You got to have the gun. You got to run. But that's what they do. I mean,
But
I feel in Canada that's
Like
what they do.
let's use nurses as an example. How many male nurses do you know?
quite a few.
Quite a
But I
few.
can guarantee they're outnumbered by
It's more
females.
women. Oh
Probably
yeah.
8 or 9
Hands
to 1.
down.
Well, they
But
are.
we want equity or equality. It has to go for all jobs.
No,
The
yeah,
men that
No,
choose to
I
be
understand
nurses
that,
choose to
but
be nurses because they want to be nurses.
but
yeah.
the other
they
thing
to
that I have a
practice
problem with
it.
some of these jobs is there's a double standard.
Yeah,
Men have to meet one standard, women have to meet another standard, and usually the female standard is a lot lower standard than the males.
yeah.
We did that in the army, you
So
remember?
yeah, but so if you're
Women that do
doing
like
if
18
you're doing a
push-ups.
job, if you're doing a job in the military or in the police or in the fire service, or working as a paramedic, there should be one standard. And if you can't meet that standard, you can't do the job because you're
Correct.
going to get people killed or you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
If
exactly.
it says pick up the 200-pound dummy and carry him 100 yards, well, by God, you
Yep.
better be able to do that. And I don't care if you weigh 90 pounds.
You better figure it out.
Well, that's it. That's what I mean. I'm for that. I want women to it's not just a question of taking over a job of a male. No, it's not. I mean, I know firefighters, women firefighters.
I have
could
no
pick you
problem.
even more than a guy.
Yeah, I have no problem if she's qualified to do the job. No
Yeah,
problem
exactly.
at all.
Yeah.
But the same thing, vice versa. So, do you think the lifting weight standard for a male nurse is the female lifting weight standard?
Probably not.
Does the male get tested at a higher, physical fitness level than a nurse, or a cop, or a firefighter, or any of that stuff? They made those standards as a minimum to survive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the past, it was males. In the past, I mean, but now
to be honest, there's a part of the thing you didn't understand. They started pushing women into the workforce in the 30s because it doubled the amount of taxes that people pay, which doubled the income of the government.
Yeah. Again, yeah.
It wasn't necessary because women did or didn't want to work. It's because if both people in the household worked, the United States could collect twice as much taxes.
Yeah. Exactly.
But think about it from this perspective.
Sorry, I'm yawning, but I am literally beaten.
Akai's wife does very good at what she does. I can't say that Akai would be where he was without her. And she's, I would say, the best person at what she does that I know. And I don't even talk to her very much about it. And Akai, I don't think he would be where he is without her.
Well, yeah, she does better than a lot of her male counterparts at her job. So, but she had to fight to get there to prove herself.
And why? Why did she have to do extra?
I don't think it was extra. I think it was doing a lot of the same things that the men were doing, but she had to do it better and cleaner because
she was a woman.
She was a woman, and
that's not okay.
And I think that's going away. I think people are accepting of who's ever's in charge of them as long as they can meet the standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've been on this horse for a minute riding. Let's we got to talk about this.
Yeah, no, but you wanted to go. What is it?
Yes, Idaho guy. What's going on?
What's Idaho? What's going on with Idaho?
There was a guy in Idaho on November 13th of 2022 went in and killed 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
he pled guilty today. I looked at his picture. He looks like He looks like he'd have been better in like ODS.
Oh,
He looked like
4 people, I think.
yeah. He missed his calling. He probably should have been like Spec Ops or working for the CIA because he did some very horrible things.
He did?
Yeah, he's sicko.
Okay.
Let
worth
me
it.
give some. He entered the house through the sliding door, went to the third floor, fatally stabbed 2 people. Then
Was it 5
uh,
people?
ended up killing her with a large knife. Another one, and then there was a guy asleep, a boyfriend, and killed him.
Okay.
So of the 6 people in the house, 4 people got killed.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's getting, but he pled to a plea deal instead of going to trial. And the plea deal is 4 consecutive life sentence plus 10 years for the burglary charge.
Okay.
And I'm
Well,
like,
how do you serve
I'm like,
consecutive life sentences?
exactly, because your life's got to end before you can serve the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So does that mean if you go in and you die and you go flatline and they bring you back to life, does that mean you serve 1 sentence? So you can go have 4 heart attacks, come back to life, and you can get out?
I think technically that would work, but I don't know if the judge is going to accept it. But I just, after you've been giving 4 life sentences, I'm sorry. I think after a year, you've already pled to the correct case. You've done it. Why are we keeping you around?
Yeah.
We should do like the Chinese do, part them out and try to save people with the organs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just not his brain. You don't want anybody to have his brain.
No.
Hey, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Did you see that on YouTube? There was a water park that was condemned.
I have not seen this.
Yeah, I seen it on YouTube today. There was people going in, and I think it was an old Six Flags, and the guy bought it off for $2.5 million. He was supposed to renovate it. He never done it, and it's abandoned. He's getting sued, and the guy still hasn't sold it, and it's like it caught on fire not long ago. Well, maybe a year ago. Like that.
So he was going to redo it as a water park and try to reopen it.
Yeah.
And well, my guess is
I bought it off. The first one was being how do you call it?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it was my guess is the numbers didn't work out, so that's why he didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I seen the water park because the
persistent health, safety, and fire code.
Six Flags water parks all look alike.
But it got closed. It got closed in 2016.
Yeah. It was closed by the first owners. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's Six Flags. I'm saying Six Flags, but it's maybe not Six Flags. But I mean, it's the same park. It looks exactly the same way.
Oh, all that happened is they were held in contempt because they never reopened the business. So we have an article that's actually almost 10 years old, and they're just drubbing it up on the news a couple of weeks ago because they haven't done anything with this, so they're finding them every day.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What I would like to talk about is how about flying on Delta Airlines these days?
I think accidents happen because would the tip of the wing fall off or something?
Lost part of its wing flap during a flight on Tuesday.
So what is samurai writing?
Wing flaps fell off. It's out there. I've seen. Okay? Yeah, I went to. I'm sorry, I really am. Yeah, but I am like. Wing flaps fall off on military aircraft all the time.
We just keep flying,
and they have some of the best maintenance in the world. So I mean,
their maintenance is overboard, to be honest.
but I'm saying, stuff breaks. Yeah. So is it really? Yeah. I think when they come back with the report, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, it was an old part or something. It just failed." Did anybody die in the accident, or was it on?
Oh no, it was able to successfully land and everything else, and no injuries were reported. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It doesn't really call the. However, we could go back and look at Mr. Sully. He had to land in the Hudson, and no one died from that either, and that was hitting birds. So, how much of it's the pilot too? Like, they train the pilots really well. I think. You know what to do in emergencies. They go through a book. I've only flown a plane once. Literally only flown a plane once.
If I'm gonna be in fear because a part fell off of an aircraft on an airline, it's not a common occurrence.
Okay.
You know.
So are we seeing Samurai still in the same subject?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, he's still in the same subject. Okay, so maybe he didn't hear that we moved on.
So you said it's very uncommon. About 1 in 100 million.
Samurai, I'm wondering.
About 1 in 100 million flights. Now, I don't know necessarily.
Or there's
some kind of part. There's some kind of part that comes off the plane, whether it be panels or tires falling off.
Look at all the stress they're under. You know, and like, take for instance, like a 747. What's the cost on a 747? Isn't that like $100 million?
Yeah, but they don't even use them anymore. They use the 737 Maxes and the Airbus 380s.
How much do those cost? They're gonna fly until the tires fall off.
Didn't that one Branson guy rent one for $100,000 a month?
He did, or something to start Virgin Galactic, or Virgin Airways.
But yeah, they're probably 100. How much? Let's see. How much does 747 cost? $418.4 million, which is
almost
747.
It's almost $500 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
So what was it? It was like $1 million. A million seconds is like, was it 7 days or something like that, or?
Yeah, and then you get to $1 billion, you're like 32.
You get to $1 billion, and it's 33 years. 1 billion seconds is 33 years.
Yeah.
So you're at $500 million for an aircraft, for one, and you've probably got 50 or 60 of them in your fleet. Wow. You know, I mean,
yeah, understandable. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
stuff happens, man. Planes crash.
The reason why they use the 737s instead of the 747s is they're only $100 million each.
Okay.
And more fuel efficient.
And way more fuel efficient. The 747 was made to haul cargo, and someone had the grand idea of putting passengers on it,
which is awesome. I totally approve.
But now we use like
class so much nicer.
It makes like I think the largest plane in the world might be an Airbus 380.
No, I think it's that Super Guppy, isn't it? Or largest plane or largest cargo hold?
I want to see largest passenger plane. It's the Airbus 380.
Yeah, 380. That's that big, massive thing. It's got like decks inside of it.
Yeah, man. I think you go up in stairways.
Yeah.
And an Airbus 380 is $445 million.
Oof. Ladies and gents, we are already at that
an hour already.
Yeah. Hey, man, all these
and
topics
we had a lot
were
of
really
good
interesting.
topics.
Everything was really interesting, and I'm tired too.
Well, please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Go out to vermlandradio.com. There is a swag shop there. All the swag that you purchase there helps out the station, so the money doesn't come out of our pocket, which we really appreciate. Also, make sure you do the Ruthless Rustlers, and go out and check their stuff. Verm will pop a code up here, so you can do that. Ruthless Rustlers, Verm Friends 10. There it is, right there. And so we like to thank our sponsors there with Ruthless Rustlers, and you guys have a fine day.
And I'm letting you guys know that I'm working on a project. Fourth Wall came up to me. It's another company that does clothing.
Okay.
And they handle everything. So now there's caps. There's a cap being done for our different shows. I'm working on that, doing some new swag. and they work with a game with all the gamers.
I want an alpaca zipper hoodie.
A what?
Okay, I'm going to diverge. I know we're ending the show,
but go to the
alpaca fiber is phenomenal.
I had a friend that had socks.
Let's close up the show. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. See you all next week on the same time, same thing on Wednesday at 9 Eastern PM. Let's see each other all next week. Bye.